This is Minutia Men with Rick and Dave. The following is a Tony Lasano podcast, an Opie production on the Radio Misfits Podcast Network. This is Minutia Men with Rick and Dave.
DJ Jazzy Rick with the seg there, buddy.
I thought that was pretty good.
That was a perfect seg.
Thank you.
And a perfect day, isn't it?
Yeah. So why are we playing that song?
No reason.
We just love it. We're just a big fan of that song.
Right. And again, democracy.
Yeah.
Right?
We should say we're taping this show on the day after the election.
Right. And we couldn't be more optimistic about the new world.
Yeah. I'm looking at it. My cup is half full right now. And now let me give you an example. I am no longer afraid of being buried alive or burned in a crematorium.
Okay.
While I'm alive.
Yeah, of course.
Because now that would be sweet, sweet relief.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Mm-hmm.
That's my cup is, embarrassing death. Not worried about it anymore because, the people are going to have like polio left and right because Robert F. Kennedy's in charge.
Exactly.
So nothing to worry about. Everything's fine.
What kind of souvenir T-shirt should we start creating for the advent of measles again? Right? Or what this would be? This would be the reunion tour, the measles reunion tour, right?
Hey,
the
whatever.
measles,
whatever.
We had a good run. 200 how many years?
Yeah,
fine.
Yeah,
whatever.
You sexually assault a half dozen every year for 30 years. Well, whatever. Whatevs.
Right? Yeah, exactly. So,
all right.
But
because
again,
eggs are expensive, Dave.
They're like 28 cents more than they were 4 years ago.
All right. I think we need to get back to the show. We've gotten that out of our system.
Oh, yeah. Because from this point forward, never think about it again.
Never again.
Well, here's a news story that is kind of apropos.
Okay.
To what's going on here.
Yeah.
Fireball plans to collect heartbroken football fans' tears for a new whiskey. Okay. Fireball. You a big Fireball fan, are you?
It's the worst. It is Jägermeister level quality of crap.
Really?
It is that horrible.
It's like cinnamony, right? Or
it's like a red hot.
Like the candy
like
red
the
hots.
candy red hot with alcohol. It's horrible.
Yeah. Well, they've got a new brand. They're getting a new.
Who likes red hots? Or what's
Fireball.
Fireball? Huh. My son Sean. He loves it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I have not had Jägermeister since
my bachelor party.
No, it was my bachelor party. That was 2 weeks after your.
I have not had it since then either.
So Fireball plans to collect heartbroken football fans' tears for a new whiskey,
which is genius.
Genius. Fireball is a new whiskey made from the tears. That's just the thing for football fans who'd like to take gloating to a new level. I'm not saying that they can have another genre here of political, maybe. I'm just saying. Fireball whiskey is collecting the tears of disappointed football fans after their team loses, and the new whiskey is going to be called Cryerball. Okay.
Okay.
The flavor will capture the true spirit of game day, blending the emotion of heartbreak with the cinnamon sweetness of Fireball.
It's actually really smart.
So they're going to have official tier collectors will be posted outside some of the season's biggest NFL and college games this season. And as fans leave, they'll use eyedroppers and jars to collect the tears after they have lost, right?
Bears.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say I'm a kind of an expert in supply chain management. There's a manufacturing based here in Chicago that you can really take advantage of.
Dub Bears.
They are going to be at the tier collectors are going to be at the Philadelphia Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys game on November 10th.
That's good. Whoever loses will be crying.
Right. Packers and the Bears.
Okay, the Bears
So
will be crying.
you'll have some Bear tiers there.
Yeah.
And the Iron Bowl, which features the Alabama Crimson Tide and the Auburn Tigers on November 30.
Okay, the Alabama rivalry. Yeah.
Now, actually, Budweiser has been doing something similar for years.
Really?
Yeah, they've been using urine for their beer.
That's alleged. They're big sponsors.
I've done a little. I did extensive.
Now, if you said Bud Light did that, it would have been fine, because remember Bud Light was canceled by the right a few months ago.
But if
let's rewind.
Bud Light has actually been.
Screw those guys. Am I right? Oh man, that's funny. God, that's funny.
As I was doing extensive show prep last night, because there really wasn't anything worth watching on TV last night.
Yeah.
Right?
No, I didn't.
Nothing was that.
I admit, I turned it off.
So I started to research bodily fluids as I was losing them while I was watching it. I'm like, you know what? I'm doing show prep.
Sure.
Got a big comedy show tomorrow. I'm going to be in a great mood tomorrow. We're going to do all this funny stuff.
Make them laugh. Make them laugh.
So I started, and I've got some research on bodily fluids. You want to know some fun facts about bodily fluids?
I'd love to hear fun facts.
So you have elephantitis, although...
Yeah.
Do you really have elephantitis?
I don't actually have elephantitis.
Okay, so this has been fake news. This has been Russian disinformation all the years?
It's a joke, because elephantitis is such a horrible disease. It only affects, some people in Africa. And when we were kids, they would show us those films in school. The poor starving children, Sally Struthers would be there, and they'd be holding a sandwich behind the camera, and the children would be crying and reaching forward for the sandwich. And,
right. And 47% or 58% of those voted for Trump, those African starving
but the kids, they would have these gigantic legs. And they called it elephantitis, and it's the sort of thing that sticks in your head once you see it once. And I had, knee injuries as a soccer player, and my whole... from the bottom of my knee down has always been swollen ever since.
Right.
And so I called it as a joke.
So it's not elephantitis.
Not
okay.
Actually.
Well, if you did have real elephantitis, well, here, let me ask you. What does your urine smell like? Because I've got a whole list of things. What does your urine smell like? And I can diagnose you from
flower petals.
Flower petals. So should I say this is a sweet or fruity smell?
Yeah. Yeah.
A fruit or okay. That's actually a sign of a metabolic disorder.
Oh.
Okay. And present alongside elephantitis can produce gout too.
Oh.
So go pee right now. I want to smell your urine.
Wait, I want to eat some asparagus first.
Here's another thing.
Yeah.
Salami.
What happens to your...
salami contains a lot of protein.
Yeah.
And as the body breaks down the protein, it produces byproducts like urea and ammonia.
Oh.
Has your urine ever smelled like ammonia?
Yeah, it is.
How much salami do you eat?
Every day.
Really?
Yeah.
A lot of salami. Okay, so that,
That's really good for you, too. I understand.
I wonder, but you're the low salt salami, right?
Actually, yes.
It's low salt. It's healthy. It's like my dad used to smoke True Blue cigarettes. You remember the blue brand?
Oh, yeah.
Right. And he goes, these are the healthy cigarettes.
Right, exactly. They're like Virginia Slims for men.
So there you go.
Okay.
So Fireball, Cryerball, put it on your liquor shelf.
All right, I got a story for you. This is from October 22nd in Stoughton, Wisconsin. Do you know where that is?
Yeah. Blue State.
It's not funny. That's not funny.
Oh, come on. It's tragedy plus time. It's already been 12 hours, right?
It's 20 miles southeast of Madison who let us down. Anyway, the guy who was running Famous Yeti's Pizza ran out of oil while he was making pizzas. So he went to an industrial kitchen nearby, shared by multiple businesses, and he took some oil that belonged to a different business. All right, sounds, innocent.
Did
right?
he ask?
Well, it turns out it's not so much the stealing of it that is the problem; it's what he stole. There was a label on the cap that had a manufacturer's information, use by date, and it noted it contained a certain ingredient, Delta 9 cannabis.
Right.
All right, THC. Right, he didn't notice that it had THC. They began investigating what occurred after he started experiencing some unexpected physical symptoms. But he didn't really start experiencing those until later in the day after he had sold 60 pizzas. 60 pizzas with THC oil, right? Now, nobody got hurt.
No.
Nobody died.
No.
A couple of people felt, a little nauseous, maybe.
They listened to a little Pink Floyd.
Right. They might have pulled out some Moody Blues albums.
Maybe Laverne and Shirley movie festival.
And it is Madison, Wisconsin, so they've probably were already high.
Right, it was Tuesday
when they got there. But if you think about it, a pizza made with THC oil
is brilliant.
It's I mean, you're a marketing genius.
We call that a lookalike market.
Okay.
So basically, you would, hey, I got THC, put it in a pizza. They're going to want more pizza.
Exactly.
Right. So
and the customers have been putting nice messages on their website. One customer wrote, "When I come, I wink twice, and they know that's what I want." And I was thinking about some other possible products that we could use the same oil on.
Okay.
And it's, what do you call it when you have something that markets itself? Like you said, if you're making the pizza that has the oil that makes you buy more pizza,
right.
What is that called? There's some marketing term for that, isn't there?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, we should get a professor.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Someone who teaches marketing.
I have no
One
idea what
day
you're talking
we'll get somebody who knows the subject.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Maybe somebody with 3 degrees in the subject.
See, all I have to do is to stay 1 week ahead. That's all I have to do. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, well, I was going to suggest THC Oreos as a marketing idea. Free one.
I think
free one.
I think the thin mints, the Girl Scout thin mints, they already have them on.
Yeah,
I can knock down a sleeve of those in 3 minutes. Right?
Absolutely.
Hey, we got a review.
Okay.
This is a fun podcast with natural conversation. You'll be excited for each new episode, and the guests make it just unpredictable enough, and more white women should have voted in the election.
Really? Does it say that? Wow, that is anticipatory there.
Listen today, Mac Jackson on Apple Podcast.
All right, time for another feature.
Time now for Studio Walls.
And the words of the prophets were written on the studio walls.
So, Dave, I don't know if you know about this, but last night, we're taping this on Wednesday. Last night, we had an election.
And I want to say that I've always been a fan of Donald Trump, right? And,
and
every time we've said anything negative, it was always you who drove that
It was
content.
me, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it maybe have been our last election ever, but it wasn't our, there wasn't the only election. And Studio Walls is proof of that.
Right. Because with 40 years, we've had at least 10 elections, probably, right?
Yeah. And 1988, the Democratic nominee was Michael Dukakis.
Mm-hmm. We did great in that one.
We did.
Yeah.
Did we lose that one too?
Yeah.
That darn helmet.
Yeah.
This week is his birthday. So it's an appropriate time. Not only do we have the election, but we have the birthday to bring in a guest who was talking about Michael Dukakis, and that was the poor sap named Dave Sinker, who was a comedian friend of ours. He worked at Second City.
Right. Very talented guy.
Super talented guy.
Right.
So talented that he did a great impersonation of
Michael Dukakis. And he was destined to be the Maya Rudolph, the Dana Carvey.
Yeah.
He would have been the Michael Dukakis cast member.
He was devastated. As the way you're feeling right now, he was even more so.
Right. All we lost was freedom.
Yeah, right. Big whoop. He lost a potential gold mine. And let's go back to that interview. This is episode number 21 of Minutia Men Celebrity Interview.
I guess once you turn like 60, he's a legend. Let's just call him a legend.
At the risk of starting our interview on a low note and bringing down the house, I want to bring up a fateful day in your life.
Don't dear God, don't go there.
It's our fucking podcast. We do whatever we fucking want.
Don't go there.
November 8th, 1988.
Son of a bitch. bad. I voted for Dukakis 17 times. 17 times. I had friends that are Republicans. They voted for him. It was, I did. I played Dukakis when I was touring, and we were the first touring company that was allowed to do our own material on the road. It was me and Michael McCarthy and Jane Lynch and Joe Daly. Let's see, Tim Meadows, Greg Holloman, Faith Soloway was our musical director.
Oh, sure.
And we did a lot of our own bits. They got approved by Joyce and the powers that be. So I did Dukakis. We did debate as Dukakis. It was more of a look than the voice. Dukakis never didn't. Even when John Lovitz did Dukakis on SNL, it was basically, there's John Lovitz with it.
Right, exactly. That's true.
Sure.
But it was so much fun. He's like 5'8". I'm 5'8" on a good day, and I just have get pen and make my eyebrows thicker, and we did a blackout. The ACLU card. He should have left home without it.
Well, when he put on that stupid helmet, that cost you hundreds of millions of dollars on SNL, probably, right?
Well,
What?
You know what?
It was
He's
going
probably
so great, Dave, and then wah wah.
Yeah, right.
I honestly thought, that he had passed away. I remember, it's like the Mandela effect. I remember actually seeing Michael Dukakis' obituary, and then I looked him up. The son of a bitch is still alive.
He is, yes, he is.
We've tried to get him on the show, and he's maybe now. Come on.
As a matter of fact, on the other line,
There he is now.
I have a Michael Dukakis story for you. I was the producer of Stephen Gary's show during that year,
Okay.
and Dukakis was in town, and they shut down traffic and everything for him, his motorcade. And I was trying all day long to get him on the show. Well, during the show, all of a sudden the phone rings, the hotline. I pick it up, and it's somebody saying, all right, I've got Governor Dukakis here in the limo. We're on our way to the airport. We've got like 4 minutes, but it's got to be right now. Like, okay. I put him on hold, ran into the studio. Stephen Gary, go to line one right now. Line one, we've got Michael Dukakis. And so they went to line one, put him on the air, and the guy goes, all right, here's Mr. Dukakis. And then somebody went, hello, it's me, Michael Dukakis.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and I saw my career flash before my eyes.
I can picture you
Yeah.
running all cocky.
Oh, I was.
Right,
I was starting. My chest was puffing out.
Right. Yeah.
It's like I might have did a little Jimmy J.J. Walker as I was.
I'm thinking
in
more
there.
George Jefferson. You kind of did the George
exactly.
Jefferson. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Right there, line
Swinging
one.
my arms.
Yeah, right. Who's calling me an idiot
right.
now?
Right, exactly. I'm sorry. Did one of the other shows have a presidential candidate on the phone? No. Yeah, God, that was so humiliating.
Did Steve just like, that's not what did he just?
Yeah, I mean, I was still in the room.
Oh, you hadn't even left yet. Yeah.
And because I wanted to see,
right.
the happiness in his face, and he just looked at me like, "You were so stupid. God, you were so stupid."
Can you get a tape of that?
I don't want to tape of it.
Oh my God,
I really do not want a tape of that. Oh my God, that was. Anyway, so. It could be worse. That's all I'm saying. It could be worse.
Hey, I got another story you want to hear?
Yeah.
I mean, what else do we got to do?
Sure.
U.S. death row prisoner chose cigarette over last meal but the prison refused, saying it was harmful to his health.
Oh.
This actually happened a while ago, and this was recounted. Clive Stafford Smith recently last week shared the grim details of how Nicholas Lee Ingram longed for a final cigarette instead of a meal in his final days in 1995. But he was denied because it was deemed unhealthy.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Ingram, who was a dual British and American national, was jailed in 1983 for...
I know what happened. He's British, right?
Yeah.
So he asked for a fag.
Oh, and they're like, oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Well, you can't
politically
have
correct.
that. Right, exactly.
Well, now in America, you might be able to...
Yeah, you can pretty much do whatever now. There are no rules.
So he ended up killing a couple of people. I don't know who the hell he killed, but whatever. So he wanted to, like I said, get a cigarette. They said no. But he actually... Here's a little bit of a caveat here. He didn't just request a cigarette. He wanted a carton of cigarette. And isn't a carton of cigarette 10 packs of cigarettes?
Yeah, 10 or 12.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot.
And there's 20 cigarettes in a pack,
something
right?
like that.
So it's like 200 cigarettes.
That's a lot.
So
actually,
he was
smart.
gaming the system there, right?
Yeah.
You know what? If I'm ever going death row,
Huh.
you know what my final meal is going to be?
What?
Unlimited breadsticks and pasta at Olive Garden.
Genius.
Yeah.
Genius.
Not done yet.
Yeah.
Not done yet.
Right. It says unlimited. Yeah.
So there you go. Do you want to hear last meal requests from other death row?
I would.
John Wayne Gacy.
Fried chicken.
Did you? How do you? Know
At the time.
You're a death. Oh, what radio show were you doing?
What generation or what year did he die? In the 90s sometime?
So you had a radio show that you had to get content for.
Yeah.
Well, you're right. He requested, not only a bucket of KFC original recipe, not that extra crispy stuff, 12 fried shrimp, 6 KFC biscuits, French fries, and a slice of 5-layer cake. That 5-layer, he was just giving him the finger here, right?
Yeah.
He's like,
and it doesn't fit with the rest of the meal.
Well, yeah, definitely seafood and chicken, and very fried in John Wayne Gacy. And he's looked like such a picture of health.
Exactly.
Timothy McVeigh, the Oklahoma City bombing, who, if was alive, might have been appointed by Donald Trump as some sort of domestic
defense secretary.
Requested 2 pints of mint chocolate chip ice cream.
Oh,
and which is my favorite. What's your favorite ice cream?
I like the plain chocolate chip.
Oh, not mint.
Yeah.
So that is your number one?
Yeah, chocolate
really?
chip. Or cookies and cream.
Oh, good cookies.
Those are mine.
Ronnie Lee Garner, do you know who he is?
I do not.
Well, he killed somebody or something. Ordered last meal steak, lobster tail, and apple pie a la mode. But he requested, and this is another genius, to watch the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy. And they granted him to do that. That's like he got an extra 2 days of life, basically.
I think it's 3 days. I think each movie is a full day.
So, kids out there, why don't you start thinking about what your final meal is going to be?
Okay. I have done some research into prisons today, so I'll let you know. All right. I have a story for you. This is an upbeat story, Dave.
Okay.
It's not a death row story. This is
not an election story.
No, it's about a chicken.
Oh.
All right. A hotel in the Philippines, which stands 114 feet, 7 inches tall, was awarded a Guinness World Record for being the largest building in the shape of a chicken.
Oh.
Campus Tuana Highland Resort, located in Negros Occidental, unveiled this new rooster-shaped building, which features 15 air-conditioned hotel rooms.
Nice.
So now it's a rooster. It's not a chicken.
Okay.
A cock.
Okay.
It's a cock.
Okay.
It's a giant, it's a 114-foot cock.
Okay.
Is what we're talking about. And people are staying inside that cock. There's somebody in the head of the cock right now.
Okay.
Enjoying.
Right.
Just a tip. Just a tip of
Is it maybe they've got a cock top a restaurant up there?
Ooh, if you're staying in the tail, is that the cocktail?
Oh, see, now that's the name of the bar. The name of the bar is in the tail of the chicken.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, let's see here. And the reason why it's you're wondering?
Yeah.
I was wondering.
Yeah, why do you have a hotel?
The reason why it is made into the shape of a rooster is Negros Occidental has a game fowl industry. Game fowl, which actually a rooster's not a game fowl, is it?
Do you hunt
Whoever goes rooster hunting.
I don't know.
Never even heard of such a thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, it employs millions of people in the Philippines. Oh, I see. It's an industry that it's like a chicken processing plant, basically.
Okay. All right.
If you look at a rooster, it looks calm and commanding, imposing and strong, which reflects the attitude of our people, he said. And what does it sound like, Dave? What does the rooster sound like?
I know where we're going here.
Yeah.
Asha boy.
Thank you very much.
Hey, remember when we used to go to cockfights back in college?
Oh, those were the best.
Right. I think you won like $600 once in that one basement that we went to.
Yeah. All right. It's time for another feature.
A random name pulled out of Rurik's bowl of brushes with celebrities. Mixture, collection, selection, assemblage, medley, assortment, variety. Time now for Celebrity Potpourri with Rick and Dave.
So, Dave, this story comes to us from a man named John, and it takes us a place maybe that we'd like to go out of the country to Africa.
Who voted for Trump 83%.
A few years ago, I thought it would be fun to go on a safari in Africa. My wife and I went to the Serengeti National Park in Tanzania. It wasn't as romantic as I thought it was going to be. We were in an all-terrain vehicle, traveling on bumpy non-roads, and once every 10 minutes we saw a giraffe or a zebra. Well, after it was over, and it was 3 hours long.
That sounds just like a cynical white guy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, come on.
Yeah. Can I see a hippo, for God's sake? What's wrong with you people? Anyway.
It's like Brookfield Zoo here.
After it was over, 3 hours later, I still felt like I hadn't seen anything, so I convinced my wife to take a hot air balloon ride.
Okay.
Over the park, and it was beautiful. If you've never taken a balloon ride like that, I highly recommend it. It was serene. That was overlooking the Serengeti National Park.
Oh, yeah, it sounds fun.
And if you've never taken a balloon ride like that, I highly recommend it, he said. There were just 5 of us in the balloon. The operator and another couple and us. The other couple was also American. Would you believe?
How you doing? I'm John. What's your name?
Justin Timberlake and Jessica Biel were the other couple. I'm guessing we would have zero chance to meet them in America, but in Tanzania, more than 8,000 miles from Chicago, they were very nice.
You know what would have happened if that air balloon would have crashed?
What?
It would have been Justin Timberlake, Jennifer Biel, and others that were killed in the Serengeti. Right?
That is so true. You know, when I worked for Steve, he that was one of the jokes he used to tell. Like whenever he got into an airplane with someone who was famous,
he was always worried.
He's like, "Oh, great, now I'm out." Now you know, if something happens, it's going to be
others.
Harrison Ford and others died instead of Steve Dahl, the legendary the legendary radio performer. Yeah. All right, we have another show.
Yeah, we do. It's called Make America Great.
It will be called that soon.
It's Minutia Met Celebrity Interview, and what do we do, Rick?
Well, we interview celebrities.
Right. And our friend Dane Placco, I heard that he a big fan of the show, isn't he?
Well, he said to me when he was out here having a cigar with us the other day, and he said to me, "So, what third-rate celebrity you got on this week?"
And that's coming from a D-list celebrity here in Chicago. So
I said, "We're having you on, Dane."
So Eric Litt, you know who Eric Litt is. He's been on this show several times.
Yeah. He has been our Oscar expert for the last 3 years.
Right. And he gets them right all the time.
He's amazing.
Right. Just like Nate Silver and all those guys, all those pollsters did.
He knows everything about the movies.
Right.
If you think I'm a baseball or Cubs nerd, he's like that with all movies. He's like, it's like talking to Roger Ebert or something.
Well, tell our fans or our listeners, hopefully they're fans, what did he just write?
He wrote a book called Worth a Second Look, which Dave couldn't come up with off the top of his head, but that's the name of it.
That's not true.
And it's actually quite a good book about all the different movies that
are worth a second look.
Exactly. Right. And hence the name. Yeah. And I think it's actually a really good book. I can't wait to have it by the side of our television as Bridget and I are scrolling
and bitching at each other.
How about this one?
No. I don't like vampires.
I don't like comedy. Comedy sucks.
Marlon Brando, he's dead.
Yeah, who cares? Anyway, that book.
Let's watch this Outlanders trilogy or whatever.
Now, that was and scene. That was acting as if we were talking about somebody else's wives.
Yes, right, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that
right.
was not our own wives.
No.
Not even close.
No.
Boy, you got to watch everything these days. I'm telling you, it's not good. We have people to thank for the show.
Like to thank. I don't want to thank. Okay, I'm not. I was going to do a political thing. You know what?
No.
You know what? I've turned the page.
Yeah.
It's all over.
It's all over.
Yeah, you know what?
Everything will be fine.
I grieved for 9 hours. It's over.
Yeah.
I don't need anything.
Exactly.
Let's thank Tony Lasano.
Yeah.
Tony Lasano is our producer. Great guy.
Yeah.
Appreciate everything he's done.
Yep. He's the executive producer. And also thanks to
Ed Silla
of the Radio Misfits Podcast Network. Great Talk Radio isn't dead. It's just mostly right wing now. And it's oh, crap! I can't do it. I can't do it. And by the way, that is true. Most talk radio is right wing.
Sure,
but
the podcast they haven't.
Not here at the Radio Misfits Podcast.
When do
Network.
you think we are going to get rounded up? I mean, it's got
I think we have months. It probably won't even be until like next summer. First of all, you got to get rid of all the Mexicans,
exactly,
right? And then
that voted for you,
right? And then they get all the Arabs,
right?
Muslims that voted for you,
right?
And then all the press. Yeah, you're gonna get all over the press,
right?
And then us, right? I think we may have a whole year, before we're through.
Well, when we round up the press and shoot them, we're not giving them cigarettes because that's unhealthy.
It's not safe.
Yeah,
it's not. And we'll be back again next week with
maybe we'll see
from Portugal with another episode of
Minutia.
The proceeding was a presentation of the Radio Misfits Podcast Network. Find our other great shows on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and at radiomisfits.com. Thank you.
This has been a presentation of Opie Productions.
Tony, can you shut up?